Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey back in time to the heart of ancient Egypt to uncover the story of a figure shrouded in mystery yet celebrated as a national savior. We're talking about the hero of the Nile. But who was this hero? Was it a single person or something much, much bigger? For millennia, the Nile River has been the lifeblood of Egypt.
Ho, ho, ho!
Its annual flood, a predictable and gentle inundation, deposited rich, fertile silt along its banks, creating a lush green ribbon through the harsh desert. This was the foundation of one of the world's greatest civilizations, everything from agriculture and food to transportation and religion revolved around the river's rhythm. The Egyptians called their land Kemet, the Black Land, after this precious soil.
Ho, ho, ho!
The river wasn't just a resource, it was a deity, a god named Happy, celebrated for bringing abundance and prosperity. But what happens when the lifeline falters? What if the floods don't come? Imagine the terror. 1 year, the waters barely rise. The next, the same. The fertile black silt isn't deposited. The once lush fields crack under the relentless sun. Granaries, once overflowing, begin to empty.
Ho, ho, ho!
The whispers of hunger turn into cries of desperation. This wasn't just a bad harvest, it was a catastrophe, an existential threat to the entire kingdom. This is the stage for our story, a devastating 7-year famine that brought the mighty Egyptian empire to its knees. Ancient texts, like the famine stele found on Sol Island, tell of this terrifying period. They speak of a land gripped by despair.
Ho, ho, ho!
The inscription, attributed to King Djoser of the Third Dynasty, describes the horror in vivid detail. Grain was scant, kernels were lacking. Everything that one had to eat was in a state of meagerness. The Nile, their benevolent god, had seemingly abandoned them. People were starving, society was fraying at the edges, and the pharaoh, the divine link between the gods and the people, was powerless.
Ho, ho, ho!
The entire cosmic order, the concept of math, truth, balance, and justice was thrown into chaos. In this time of ultimate crisis, King Djoser turns to his most trusted advisor, a man whose genius would echo through eternity, Imhotep. You might know him as the architect of the Step Pyramid, the world's first massive stone building. But Imhotep was so much more than that.
Ho, ho, ho!
He was a high priest, a physician, a poet, and a vizier, the most powerful man in Egypt after the king himself. He was a true polymath, a figure of almost mythical intellect and wisdom. Djoser, desperate for a solution, tasks Imhotep with a seemingly impossible mission: find out why the Nile has failed and discover how to appease the gods to make it flow again. Imhotep, ever the scholar, didn't resort to blind prayer.
Ho, ho, ho!
He went to the archives, the house of life, delving into sacred texts and ancient records. His research led him south, to the source of the flood's power, near the first cataract at Aswan. It was here, on the island of Elephantine, that the principal cult of Kum was located. Kum was the ram-headed god of creation, the divine potter who fashioned humanity on his wheel.
Ho, ho, ho!
But more importantly, he was believed to be the guardian of the Nile's source, holding the power to open the floodgates and release its life-giving waters. Imhotep discovered the source of the problem. According to the texts, the temple of Kum had been neglected. The proper rites and offerings had not been performed. The god was angry. Armed with this knowledge, Imhotep advised King Djoser on the exact rituals and sacrifices needed to soothe the deity.
Ho, ho, ho!
He instructed the king to make a grand royal procession to the temple to show his devotion and to dedicate a portion of the land's harvest to Kum's cult in perpetuity. It was a strategic, spiritual, and political masterstroke. Following Imhotep's guidance, King Djoser made the pilgrimage. He performed the sacred rites and made a royal decree promising that the temple of Khnum would forever be honored and its priests provided for.
Ho, ho, ho!
And then, as the story goes, the king had a dream. The god Khnum appeared to him, his powerful form radiating divine light. He spoke to Djoser, promising, "The Nile will swell for you without a year of cessation, without a year of slackening. Its water will rise for you. Weariness will be no more, and the people's hearts will be happier than before." And just as the god promised, the miracle happened.
Ho, ho, ho!
The following season, the Nile began to swell. The waters rose higher and higher, not with destructive force, but with the gentle, life-affirming power the Egyptians knew and loved. The floodwaters receded, leaving behind a thick, fresh layer of the precious black silt. The famine was broken. The fields were sown, and a bountiful harvest followed. Egypt was saved. The cosmic order, Mat, was restored.
Ho, ho, ho!
The people rejoiced, their faith in their king and the gods reaffirmed. In the wake of this triumph, King Djoser was celebrated, but the true architect of the salvation, the man who used knowledge and faith to solve an unsolvable problem, was Imhotep. His actions solidified his legendary status. He wasn't just a builder or a doctor. He was a savior.
Ho, ho, ho!
He had looked into the abyss of national collapse and, through intellect and reverence, had pulled his entire civilization back from the brink. This act, more than any pyramid, is what truly cemented his place as one of the greatest figures in all of history. So, who is the hero of the Nile? It isn't a single warrior with a sword. It's a multifaceted hero. It's the river itself, the bringer of life. It's the god Khnum, the keeper of its source.
Ho, ho, ho!
It's King Djoser, the leader who sought wisdom in crisis. But above all, it's Imhotep, the brilliant mind who understood that faith and knowledge are two sides of the same coin. He is the ultimate hero of this story, a testament to the power of human intellect, strategic thinking, and deep respect for the forces of nature. The story of the 7-year famine and Imhotep's solution is more than just a myth.
Ho, ho, ho!
It's a powerful lesson about resilience, the importance of knowledge, and the delicate balance between humanity and the environment. It shows us that even in the face of overwhelming disaster, wisdom and decisive action can forge a path back to prosperity. Imhotep became so revered that, centuries after his death, he was deified and worshipped as a god of medicine and wisdom, a true mortal who ascended to the heavens through his deeds.
Ho, ho, ho!
Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into ancient Egypt. The story of the hero of the Nile reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes are not those who wield weapons, but those who wield knowledge. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next historical adventure.
Ho, ho, ho!
Let me know in the comments what you found most fascinating about Imhotep's story. Until next time, stay curious.
Ho, ho, ho!